who live in New York and those who wish they could.
Good morning, everyone. It's truly an honor to be here today in this great space. This project has been years in the making, and it is such a joy to see it come to fruition. This is only the beginning. We are committed to expanding equity across the city and ensuring opportunity is accessible to all New Yorkers. And with that, it is my privilege to introduce a leader who has made equity, opportunity, and access the guiding principle in his administration, Mayor Eric Adams.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Commissioner, and really excited to be here, particularly with Raphael. Together back, he was a councilman, and I was the bar president at the time, and we just saw that this was a field of dreams. And if we build it, they will come. My childhood was spent blocks from here and watching how this community was denied vital services. And oftentimes, you had to go downtown to get those services. And people didn't realize that trip downtown meant you had to find the token. It wasn't a MetroCard back then, it was a token. And often you didn't have it. We used to walk downtown from here and find means. And we just knew that if we came together, we could change this dynamic. And this beautiful building, this beautiful structure was an important part of building an anchor tenant. And there's no better anchor tenant than city employees. They shop in the area, they use the restaurants in the area, and many of them find when they move to a particular area, when they work at a particular area, they look for housing, they look for school, they look for daycare. But if it's in Manhattan, the rent is too unaffordable. But if it is in areas like East New York, like Flatbush, like South Jamaica, Queens, they can actually buy a home, find an apartment, and they can start building communities, working class, middle class people. So this is a deja vu for my brother and I. Started out several years ago, and now we're here. We are not new to this. We are true to this. We've been doing it for quite some time, and this is the fruit of our labor. And when you look at this neighborhood, during my days as a transit cop, I would be on these subways, the J, the L, the A, the C. I would stop at District 33, from riding the trains from 8 at night to 4 or sometimes 6 a.m. in the morning, keeping this community safe. And now we're back here showing the product that we produce. I believe and I love this city in general, but specifically communities that I was raised in as a child. And I saw how the city abandoned far too many New Yorkers like my family, and we want to have that come to an end. Others will see this crumbling infrastructure and poorly maintained surroundings as an end of the road. I don't. I see it as possibilities, and that's what we always felt it was. So today's announcement brings us one step closer to making Broadway Junction a thriving hub for East Brooklyn and the entire borough. Together with the Department of Social Services, Commissioner Park, Economic Development Corporation President and CEO Andrew Kimball, and Department of Citywide Administrative Services Commissioner Molina, we are proud to announce the official opening of 2440 Fulton Street, the largest ever commercial space in this area. Deputy Mayor, carry on. Job well done. 400,000 square foot building delivers on our CARE pledge, which stands for City Agencies Revitalizing the Economy. City agencies revitalizing the economy. Bring city agencies into communities, and it is a win-win solution. This is a strategy we first announced in 2022 to revitalize underserved neighborhoods with the strategic placement of city office space and services. It's about leveraging our city resources as an employer to drive growth in local economies. In addition to 80,000 square feet of retail space that will bring good paying jobs and quality retail options to the neighborhood. 2440 Fulton will also bring 1,100 Department of Social Services, Human Resources employees here. 1,100 will be here in this community to provide services to those who are in need. The location will also offer services like cash assistance, SNAP, Medicaid, and fair fares. Far too many New Yorkers don't receive the services they deserve because the challenges and the barriers that are in place, we are removing those barriers one brick at a time. It will deliver directly to neighbors who rely on them right here in their community. This relocation puts many different human resources services under one roof. It cuts down on travel time. It makes it easier to access services with rapid electronic check-ins, upgraded self-service technology, and expanding waiting areas. And it is part of our administration's efforts to more easily connect a record number of New Yorkers to critical benefit programs. This new development also builds on our long-term strategy to revitalize East New York and the surrounding neighborhood. A strategy, as I stated, begun when I was Brooklyn Borough President. Look at this article here, Raphael, going back to 2017. 2017. You know, we still look good. But 2017, he and I stood on this platform and looked over into East New York and stated that it was very much possible. You know, if you stay consistent with the dream would never die and the dream would stay alive. And today, we're seeing the alarm clock of that dream. We waking up to the reality that we met the destiny that we were looking for. This is something that's important to all of us. And here today, we are revitalizing and realizing the plans we set in place nearly a decade ago. At the time, I chaired the Brooklyn Junction Working Group, which created the Broadway Junction report released in 2019. And in 2023, as mayor, along with the MTA, we announced a $500 million commitment to improve the Broadway Junction station and the surrounding areas. We also announced a $130 million investment in the public space around Broadway Junction through EDC, and Andrew has continued to make sure that those dollars go to good use. And we are actively seeking workforce development organizations to expand job training opportunities for local residents through an EDC request for proposal that is out now. We've dropped unemployment in this city for Black and brown folks by 20%. The public and private investments, and this is the number I love the most. The public and private investments in this neighborhood are expected to produce $11.5 billion with a B. $11.5 billion in economic impact over the next 30 years. This includes opportunities for local businesses, nonprofits, and minority and women-owned businesses. While we have been in office, we put over $18 billion into women and minority-owned businesses, and we're continuing to do so. So they will be prepared for the future as we build the foundation today. So today's announcement is a reflection of the many years we have spent working on these projects and the joy we feel when seeing our plans come to life. I'm proud to keep delivering for the people of this city in general, but specifically in communities like East New York. 2440 Fulton Street will be a place where people can get services, find employment, build their community, and not have to leave their city, but to be part of the city that they love. A safe and affordable city to raise children and families. Job well done. I want to thank everyone that's involved. Bravo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to acknowledge those who are here with us today. Deputy Mayor for Housing and Economic Development, Adolfo Carrion. Deputy Mayor, just to give us credit, Deputy Mayor for Health and Human Services, Susanna Miles Gustav. The Commissioner of the Department of Social Services, Molly Wasow Park. Human Services Administrator, Scott French. And New York City's Economic Development President, Andrew Kimball. As the mayor said, through collaboration between Mayor Adams, the Department of Social Services, Economic Development Corporation, and our team at DCAS, we brought the CARE strategy to life, city agencies revitalizing the economy to life. Projects like these are more important than ever, especially after the challenges brought by the pandemic. That's why the CARE strategy was created, to bring services and meaningful job opportunities directly to people who need it the most. By placing city agencies in key neighborhoods like East New York, we're bringing jobs closer to communities and supporting our economy. Now to speak more about the broader Broadway Junction efforts and EDC's vital work, welcome Deputy Mayor for Housing, Economic Development, and Workforce, Adolfo Carrion.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody.
Monday.
There's a lot of excitement in this room. You know, this doesn't get old. I have to say, I've been in government a long, long time, decades. And every time something like this happens, where there is a transformational moment, where government steps forward and fulfills its best and optimal role, this is powerful. So you have a former borough president and a former council member who stood on a particular subway platform decades ago, looked at this site that was not a pretty site, right, sir? And said, in partnership, said something transformative can be here. We need to do something about Broadway Junction and East New York. And here we are. It's a phenomenal moment. So I want to thank the mayor for his leadership, for bringing this reality to vision for Broadway Junction that he started as borough president of Brooklyn. It's a pleasure to join our partners at the Economic Development Corporation, the Department of Citywide Administrative Services, the Department of Social Services, the Human Resources Administration that has its own background music, our local stakeholders, and the development team at Lesser Group to mark the completion of 2440 Fulton Street. This project matters. This new building will be the largest ever commercial building in the area and will be home, as the mayor said, to 1,100 city employees at HRA. That's 1,100 people coming to work here, walking in this neighborhood, spending their dollars in this neighborhood, getting services in this neighborhood, transforming the local economy. This delivered more than 700 construction jobs and will provide more employment opportunities for new businesses that can use the building's 80,000 square feet of retail space. And by locating the city's workforce in East New York, these public servants not only serve New Yorkers in their critical roles at HRA, they will contribute, as I said, to the neighborhood's economy. And this project is one piece of a larger vision for Broadway Junction. That vision began when Mayor Adams was borough president in 2017. Since then, the area has begun to transform into a mixed-use neighborhood with this new office building, with many more homes, major investments in the industrial business zone, and improvements, as you can see around the neighborhood, to the public realm. More than 5,600 housing units have been permitted in East New York, with over 3,200 of those being affordable homes. Callahan Kelly Playground was reopened in 2023. We were there after a $21 million renovation, and the city will be investing $110 million more to create a gateway plaza with new open space and new streetscaping. Our partners at the state level have improved accessibility to public transit, with the MTA investing $400 million for accessibility upgrades and other improvements at the Broadway Junction station. Once all of this work is completed, the area in and around Broadway Junction station will be transformed into a regional transit center. And we've partnered with City Council member Nurse to fund and improve the industrial business zone. So you can tell Council member Nurse when you see her that we appreciate. Is she here? Where is she? There you are. Thank you. Thank you. She has been a terrific partner. She knows how to hide in the public there. She has been a terrific partner. I could say that as the former Commissioner of Housing. We've got thousands of units of housing being built with the public realm. You were here at the beginning in 2023 when we opened up the park on that cold, rainy day. But this is about partnership. The handoff that happens from generation to generation is a powerful thing. This transforms this neighborhood. Congratulations and thank you to all the partners.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Carrion. Next, we have Anthony Garcia, who will speak on the importance of this project and what it means for the community they serve.
Thank you, Commissioner Molina, Mayor Adams. Thank you all for being here today at this beautiful building where I'm now. It's now my new workplace. I'm Anthony Garcia. I'm an eligibility specialist at the department for approximately 36 years already. My colleague, Sasha Marrero, has 21 years as well. We've been working here at this place with the Department of Social Services for quite some time. We represent thousands of city workers who form the bedrock of our social safety net. We work to connect New Yorkers in need to lifelines every day. We interact with New Yorkers at the lowest point of their lives with nowhere to turn to. They come to us for help and assistance, and we often find ourselves having to navigate traumatic situations with them. We lead with compassion and empathy every day with these people. We often find ourselves having to navigate very traumatic situations with them. We all do this daily with professionalism, accountability, and integrity towards our clients on a daily basis. We are also essential workers. At first, we wasn't essential workers until we did the pandemic, and then the mayor realized we are essential workers. We did that 7 to 10 at night, 7 days a week, making sure that we fed New Yorkers during the pandemic, which was very horrific, but we made it through. Also, while this could be difficult on the best of days, I'm grateful for the opportunity to give back to my community. I have worked in many different buildings, but I never worked in a building like this. I see the agency going in a different direction finally for the future, for our coworkers and customers' comfortability. We got a lot of seniors in the neighborhood, a lot of people with disabilities who are in need in these communities. You know, like the mayor said, we're going to have 1,100 DSS staffers that's going to continue to work and helping vulnerable New Yorkers apply for critical resources, including SNAP, which is us, cash assistance, Medicaid, fair fares, and also the ID NYC centers that are here for people who need identity. The physical settings of the location where services are delivered matter a lot. when you are looking to support people in crisis. You know, I mean, I was a young kid and always with my mother. My mother was on cash assistance, and, you know, from being over there at 404 Pine all the time as a little kid with her and seeing all the horrific things and how things was being handled, to me growing up now and being feeling like a leader to help the people in need in the neighborhoods. You know, I'm originally from I'm a Brownville native. You know what I'm saying? I'm originally from Brownville. You know, and my coworkers originally from Bushwick. You know, many of our colleagues live and work in this neighborhood as well. This will also be a very convenient location for New Yorkers living in Brownville, Bushwick, Eastern York, and a couple of blocks down on Ralph Avenue starts Bed-Stuy. You know, my father worked in Bed-Stuy for 25 years. He was a New York City police officer, homicide detective. And, you know, I know about the area. So, you know, now we're going to be helping all these people. This building is also right by Broadway Junction station, making it commuting here by my coworkers and customers in the Brooklyn neighborhoods easier. I'm hoping that the agency continues to strengthen the workforce to ensure customer satisfaction at this site. Today's my first day at the building. It was a quiet office warming. Thank you all for joining us and celebrating the opening of 2400 Fulton Street. Like I said, I'm a Brownville native. They have a saying, I'm from Brownville, never ran, never will.
Thank you, Anthony, the voice of the people. And now please welcome former City Council member and dedicated community leader, Rafael Espinal.
Thank you. I guess I'll start off by saying that it's been 10 years since we were standing out there. The mayor had hair. My hair was jet black. And we were dreaming together about what could happen here in Broadway Junction. And I can tell you that when you dream, it does come with a lot of anxiety, especially in government. You don't know whether future administrations are going to follow through on that vision. You don't know whether those promises you made to your community actually are going to come to light. And when the mayor became mayor, I was able to rest easy because I knew that since he was part of this vision from the beginning, that this vision was become a reality. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, for making this happen. I really appreciate it. I also want to thank the Councilmember Sandy Nurse. You know, you do need a good quarterback to see it through and make sure that this actually comes to fruition. So thank you, Councilmember, for your help along the way as well. You know, it's really an honor to be here with all you today. Back in 2016, when Mayor de Blasio approached me about the East New York Neighborhood Plan, I saw that many had long ignored. I saw the raw potential of East New York. And after years of negotiations and the many gray hairs I have in my head today, we brought in over $300 million in investments, building a 1,000-seat public school, a full-fledged community center, rebuilding parks, and building more than 5,600 units of affordable housing, all to keep this neighborhood strong, rooted, and thriving. I grew up and still live less than a mile away from here, in Cypress Hills. Like a lot of kids from our neighborhood, I had to pass through this station every time I went into the city. And back then, this junction felt like the border between two worlds, a life defined by poverty and the possibility of prosperity. That feeling came from decades of disinvestment from administrations that saw this place as a pass-through instead of a place worth investing in. Little did I know that while I was hustling to get to school or to work through Broadway Junction, there was a young officer named Eric Adams patrolling this very same neighborhood, keeping us safe. We were generations apart, but we shared the same hope that one day Broadway Junction wouldn't just be a stop on the way to opportunity. It would be a place where opportunity lived. And that's the vision we started putting into action when Eric Adams and I co-chaired the Broadway Junction Vision Plan with EDC. And I know some of the staff from back then is still here, so thank you for all of your work, Julia. Back in 2017, we stood in this very building and imagined it as an anchor of a new era, a place that would bring jobs, life, and dignity to this corner of Brooklyn. And trust me, back then, when I learned that this project is likely to come into fruition in 2025, it felt like a long time from that time. So today I stand here with pride, I stand here with a lot of hope, and I'm really excited about the future ahead. Because we're not just unveiling a building, we're celebrating a decade of hard work, of turning a long overlooked hub into a new center of gravity for equity and opportunity. So I want to thank all of those involved, And to the 1,100 DSS HRA workers, welcome home. Thank you for being here and for your work.
Open a few on-topic questions.
Hi, Mr. Mayor.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Happy Monday to you. I have a few questions. I wanted to know when the services will actually be up and running for people to come. I also want everybody mentioned how long this project took to actually get to fruition. I wonder if you can talk about that, why projects like these take so long when they're meant to do such good work. And then what type of, so many people talk about the city being unaffordable and New Yorkers leaving because of that. How does this project help keep New Yorkers and their families here?
I got all three great questions. And I don't know, Molly, you want to talk about the delivery service? I'll just go into the length of time. These projects is not just building a house or a building. These are anchor projects. And, in sports analogy, they say when you build a team, you want to get a marquee player to build a team around. This building is our marquee player. This is going to start to, number one, bring employees, 1,100 employees, working class New Yorkers, as they travel here and see how easy it is to come here because of the transportation hub. Many people don't realize East New York is one of the best transportation hubs in our city. When you have a place where you have L, A, C, J, it connects you to the entire city. And when people see how easy it is to come here and to commute here, it's going to have a major input. And Brownsville, East New York, there are two places where the real estate value is still affordable to be a homeowner, to rent, and to be part of what Adolfo did as HPD commissioner and building housing and providing places for people to come and to raise their family. Then when you look at what the former councilman did with building a new school here. So we're building a community here. And when you're doing that, you have to get it right. You have to talk to community boards. You have to talk to the business district. You have to talk to the local electeds. There are a lot of people that you want to have weigh in and buy in so that they can see the vision. So the mere fact that the councilman and I, former councilman and I, we saw the vision, we needed other people to see and to buy into it. Because if you don't, then the barriers become extremely challenging. And because we saw that, we're here 10 years later, and we're seeing the actual materializing of that dream. And if you walk around the area, this is not the East New York we saw 10 years ago. This is not the East New York we saw 10 years ago, and you're seeing hope to say nice things should be throughout the city. Many people, as you just indicated, many people didn't believe that the East New Yorks, the Brownsvilles, the South Jamaica, the South Bronx, other parts of the city, they didn't believe they deserved nice spaces. And we had to just accept whatever we walked into. And, I remember sitting in these waiting rooms with my mother where it was just horrific conditions. And so it takes a while before you could get everyone together. But if you just stay true to the mission and just forge ahead. We're going to talk about when we're ready for services.
Yeah, we're starting some service delivery here immediately, and then we'll be rolling out over the course of the year. There are about 4 offices that are being relocated here, so it will take some time to get to full steam, but we are starting right away.
Mr. Mayor, I'm wondering if you can speak to the concerns of locals who fear the gentrification. I know there is affordable housing as part of this plan, but they are also concerned about the loss of buildings due to the rezoning plan.
Yeah, and you always, I say over and over again, those of you in the media, you heard me say it, 8.5 million people, 35 million opinions. It's New York. And no matter what you do, there are going to be those who are going to be naysayers and yaysayers. What you have to do, you have to find a sweet spot that you bring that commitment and dedication. And most importantly to me, the staff must consist of people who went through the journey. Brother Carry-On talks about his journey. His mom and pops coming here, struggling with English. and how the housing opportunities allowed them to move where they are. And now their son is a deputy mayor that's in charge of the housing portfolio. And so my team is made up of people who have gone through a lot, and so they're helping people who are going through a lot. And when we make these decisions, we're not making them based on what's in front of us, we're making them based on our personal experience and what we have gone through. And we know we don't want to displace our long-term residents. And that is at the heart of everything that we do. The people who were here, who were waking up to gunshots and not alarm clocks, they should now be able to stay in the communities. And that is our goal, and we have been steadfast on that. I think the 5,100 affordable units of housing, a substantial number of them are affordable, and we want to make sure that we lock in those affordable housing opportunities for these local residents. So we're clear on that. I know gentrification is a real issue. There are far too many people who come into these communities and want to displace the culture, the ideas, the lifestyles, and we're just not in favor of that. You know, we believe that this is a city that's welcome to everyone, but there's a rich community prior to folks arriving, and we need to respect that community. And that's our goal, and we're going to do everything that's possible to fulfill that goal and not have people leave their communities. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm out at Brooklyn. Now I'm down in Tribeca, right next to the Narrow. But I'll be hood forever. I'm the new Sinatra. And since I made it here, I can make it anywhere. Get